Hello again, this is Ross Eckert. This is the second video that I'm making tonight, and I heard something on the radio on Friday that greatly disturbed me, and that was about when President Obama said that he wished that the people who made this mess just shut up and not talk anymore. Let him solve the problem. Like it was like he was God Almighty, and he had all the solutions, and nobody else could say anything against him. Well, to me, that was an attack on free speech. You know, where does the President of the United States get off telling people to be quiet and shut up? I mean, what? Don't we have in this country the right to free speech? And I believe also earlier this week that because of the town hall meetings that a lot of these politicians are having in their home states, and well, there's people standing up and saying, hey, we don't like this health care program, we don't like the energy program, and we don't want you to vote for it. And they're pretty irate and upset people. But they're not unruly, really. They just stand up and say what they want. And yet the president comes out and says that these people are standing up for their right of free speech and talking to their representative. He calls them an angry mob. Let me ask you this. What about Acorn, and what about Pink, whatever that peace thing was? They can get up and stand up and shout and show their signs and get unruly and be dragged out of the room because they were disturbing the peace. But he doesn't call them angry. He doesn't call them a mob, even though there's a lot of far left people that act far like a mob than the conservative people in this country. You know, all these people want to do is stand up and give their views. Now, that's free speech. That's what I'm able to do here on these videos. That's what these people want to do or can do at these town hall meetings. And why should the president want to shut us up when we're standing up for what we believe in? That's not presidential to me. In my walk, I'm talking to a lot of different people, and it's like there's a desperation that's going on around this country right now. People don't know what to do. They don't know who to turn to. They don't know what the future lies in store for them and their families. And I'm the same way. But because I feel a sense of desperation for our country right now, because I believe that we're going in the wrong direction, that I'm getting rid of the fear that's controlled me in my life for a long time, and I'm standing up and saying enough is enough. Now, each of you out there who might be watching this, you have the right to do whatever you want. You can choose to lay down and say, okay, I'm not going to do anything right now because it'll just kind of slide over, and this will soon go away. Or you can choose to bury yourself in a TV or your job or your family or computer. What you can do those things, and you have a right to do those things. But you also have a right and actually a responsibility to stand up for what you believe. So, if you believe as I do that our country is going in the wrong direction, I really need you to think about the things that I talk about and take them to heart and make up your own mind. If you believe as I do, then stand up with me, because things are not going to get any better unless we stand up as a people together. I mean, I, as one person, can't do anything, but you, along with me, we can do something together. I'm just sitting here in front of this computer making this video. I don't have teleprompters. I don't have a speech written that I'm reading. I'm only talking from the heart and from what I believe. I'm not a smooth talker. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office. I'm not looking for money. But I am looking for support. I am looking mainly I want you to stand up. I want you to look at your own beliefs and your own values in your own life and say, okay, is what's going on in Washington going to change my life and my kids' life and my family life? Is it going to change our country's direction? These are questions you have to ask yourself, and these are questions that I've asked myself, and I've come to the conclusion that they're not going to get any better. In fact, they're going to get worse, but only if we don't stand up. But if we stand up, then things can get better, but they can only get better when we stand up together. I put a pretty high goal when I started this trip of having 10 million people meet me in D.C. A lot of people might think that's crazy for setting that goal. There's a reason I set that goal, because the people in D.C., the politicians that are in power up there, they only understand power. And what greater power do we have as people of the United States than the power of the people? There's one thing that I want to point out here. This is a peaceful movement that I want to start up. This is a peaceful thing that I want to happen. I don't want to act like the far left-wing individuals in the Democratic Party, because they're there to cause chaos. They're there to disrupt meetings. They're there to put people down and call them racist and call them all kinds of names, just like they did with Sarah Palin. We can't be like that, because if we're like that, then we become them. And we're not them. We're above them. We don't need to act that way as American people. That's not the way we're brought up. That's not our value system. But yet at the same time, we have to stand up. But we can do it respectfully. We can do it with peace in our hearts. We can do it with honesty and integrity, and without putting other people down and calling them all kinds of names like they call the conservatives or the Christians. To me, if we act like them, we become no better than them. And then there's no reason to stand up to them, because if we're like them, Lord help us. But I'm calling on church groups. I'm calling on all the veterans groups, the American Legion, VFW. I'm calling on all business organizations, small business, home people. I'm calling on any organization out there that has any people that agree with the things that I'm doing. Meet me in D.C. Bring buses, bus people, get the jobless there, get the homeless, and yes, even get the illegal aliens there. Because I want to ask them a question. Why did you come to America? Why were you so desperate to come to America without doing it legally? And if they have the same values that we as Americans hold, then we ought to give them a chance. But if they don't hold the same values, then they need to go. Anyway, God bless you, God bless America, and meet me in D.C.